all already know me. This is the third session of Android Study Jam, and this is the final session. And in this session, we will learn about Google Firebase and how to integrate this Firebase and use as a database or any other thing in our app or website or anything else. So I think we are good to go. So Yukti, can we start now?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So as we all know, we all need databases databases in our Android apps and websites. We need to store some information because if we store the data like strings or name, phone number, anything in the variables, then that will last till we are opening the app, and then all the data will be deleted. Okay, so we need something where we can store the data and it will be available globally. Like globally means the app is not used by a single person. App is used by millions and billions of people. So whatever data is available on your app must be available to my app also. Okay, so like data must be synced. So this is the thing. So for this purpose we use Firebase. So now the question will be like we already have some well-known databases like MySQL and MongoDB. So what is the use of Firebase? So what Firebase does is it helps in organizing and managing data. So what does this mean? Let me show you something. So if you can see, there are two pictures with Firebase and without Firebase. Now first let's talk about without Firebase. Suppose you are having your app. This your app can be your website also, either your mobile application or a website. Now if you are using some other database like MySQL or MongoDB, so in this case what will happen is you will need a server. What server? Now what is a server? Server is something which connects to your app and in turn connects to your database also. So your app will transfer data and get data from the server, and server will in turn contact with database. So you will send data from your app to server, and server will store it into database. When you request some data from your app, it will request to the server, and server will get that data from the database and send it to your app. So this is a very complicated process. Like you will need a server and you need to create this using some server side language, and whether it can be a Node.js or PHP or anything. And then you need a database to, suppose you are using MySQL, then you need to learn SQL also, like because it's a server scripting language. So you need now there you can count like on fingers how many things you need to learn, like MySQL, then SQL, then Node.js, then your app itself. So to minimize this process, what we can use is we can use Firebase in our app. It directly now you the benefits of this I will be telling and I will be describing each and every benefit. You can simply here thing. Okay, so you can connect your database, that is Firebase, with your app, and you can directly call, get, send the information and get the information from the database itself directly. So no need of server is there, and the amount of code you need to write is very less. So this is one of the best benefit of the Firebase. Now coming back to the slides. Okay, so why Firebase? I have already told you, like this is the thing, like if we don't want to use any middleware, we can use Firebase. Now, what are the benefits of using Firebase? Can anyone just confirm that am I clear till now? Like there are so many people. Can anyone just unmute and
Yes.
go along? Okay, okay, okay. So, okay, let me continue. So the benefits of the Firebase are, there are three things. You can build your app better, you can improve the quality of your app, and you can grow your business. Now, the term here common is that app, and app. So don't think that I am telling these all things about the particular mobile application or Android application. Whatever the things mentioned here are, there are 3, 6, 7, and 10 and 14 things here are these all 14 things can be used either in the mobile app, either in the iOS app, either in tablet, either in website, either in desktop application, or anything what exists. You can connect Firebase to anything, and so these are available for all. So we will be learning each, and I will be telling you use of each and everything one by one, and then after all the description we will make a simple app. Okay, so any questions till now? Okay, so I think I
No.
am okay. So for the first uses, like it is cross-platform. I have already told you that Firebase you can connect to multiple platforms like Android, iOS, website, and Unity. Unity is something which is used to develop apps. Sorry, gaming apps. Okay, if you want to develop gaming apps, you can use Unity for that. Now, what is the correct meaning of cross-platform here is suppose you are building any website, okay, and you want to build a mobile application for that too. Like there is a WhatsApp and there is WhatsApp web, okay, and like there is Flipkart and Flipkart app too. So whatever information is there available on your mobile app, it is also available on the website. So a single information you need to give it to website also, and you need to give it to your mobile application also. So you can create a single database here, and you can use that in Android application, in iOS application, in website, or anywhere else also. So this is the correct meaning. This is the biggest benefit you will get from the cross platform, this Firebase. Okay, so coming to the second thing. Now this is the figure. There is nothing written, and you might be wondering what is this. So these are all the benefits of the Firebase, and one what this is integrated. This means here is you can get each and everything from a single thing. Like you want to use database, you can get from Firebase. You want to store pictures, you can get this from Firebase. If you want to get crash reports, you can get it from here. You want to use ML, you can ML Kit, you can get it from here. You want to do analytics of your app, like how many people are using your app, you can do everything from here. So this is a facility that Firebase provides you. Am I too quick? Can you confirm, or it is going smoothly? Okay, so we can go. Now we can get, these are three most used features of Firebase. This is first is authentication, second is database file store, and third is cloud storage. So coming to the authentication part first. In our whatever app we build, we always have a login screen or a sign up screen in that app. So what we need to do for it is, suppose if we are using traditional databases like MySQL or MongoDB, then what we do is we take email field from there, we take password field from there, and then we use some uh, salt and mixture in it, and then we store that particular thing in your database. So the first thing is it is less secure. That is less secure, not Firebase. Okay, now what authentication functionality you can get from Firebase is, you can Firebase provides you facility that you just need to provide the email, and after providing the email, you it will automatically handle all the tasks like saving the password, verification, like you want to verify that particular email is present or not. Like the first time you are using any app, it suppose you directly log in, then it says that you have not signed up till now. So if you do not use Firebase, you need to write separate code for that thing. Like first you will check whether this email is registered or not. But while using authentication, you can directly call a single function that if that email is present or not, and you can get directly. So you don't need to write again and again some codes. It Firebase backend part would already handle it, each and everything. Second thing is real-time database or Firestore. This is the most wide used Firebase application till now. And what this do is, you can understand this like this. Like you use WhatsApp. Okay, suppose WhatsApp is storing your messages. Suppose, I'm saying suppose. Okay, don't think that WhatsApp is really storing it. So suppose you are sending a message to me. Okay, so whenever you send a message, it is automatically updated in my WhatsApp, and when I send it, it will be automatically updated in yours. You don't need to press any button or do anything, so it automatically does it. So this is what real time means. Like if you send something or you send something to someone, it will be automatically updated within a moment. Okay, it will not take much time, or and you don't need to do anything manually. It will be done by Firebase itself. So this is what meant by real-time database. You can store the data on Firebase, and whenever you trigger that database, triggering means you add something to that database or you remove something from that database. That database is automatically synced. Okay, each and every app or website using that database will be synced automatically by Firebase. And I will be showing you how to make a app using Firebase in few in some time. So there you can get this point very clearly. Third thing is cloud storage. So what cloud storage means is in database you can store the fields like name, like strings, numbers, and time, these things. But what if you need to store images or videos or documents? So storing these things you can use cloud storage functionality of Firebase. Okay. So this is something about how to add Firebase in your Android Studio. That will I will do it practically. Now Firebase authentication I have already told you. And one more thing, like you can use you have already seen that whenever you open an app or log in into a website, you see multiple ways to log in. Like you can log in using Google, using Facebook. So if you will be making this functionality right now in your app, you will be might be thinking that what you need to do, how will you implement this particular feature. But using Firebase, it will provide you the XML part also for this. Like you don't even need to design that particular part, those buttons. Firebase will provide you the code, you need to add that code in your app, and all these features will be available in your app within a moment. Okay, some more features are password reset and email verification. So these will be also be provided by Firebase. You don't need to manually do each and everything like sending the that 6-digit pin code or anything else for verification part. Now, Cloud Firestore is something. There are many more features which are not available in Firebase. So you can download or get those features from Firestore, and you can use those things in your database. This is the code. We should not go into it now. Firebase, what is Firebase hosting? So what hosting means is whenever you make a website or you make a app, you need to put it somewhere so that each and everyone can use it. Like if you are making an app, you will put it onto Play Store, and so that everyone can download it. So what Play Store, it is something like hosting only. Like you hosted your app there, and everyone can get it from here. And suppose you are making a website, so you will be hosting it somewhere on godaddy.com or anywhere else. So Firebase will provide you hosting thing also. So I have told you till now 4 or 5 6 features, and you know, like each and every feature is of different thing, but you can get everything from Firebase only. So this Firebase is that much useful, you should learn it. Cloud Storage I already told you. This is the code for storing getting an image and storing onto the Firebase. If I go through it generally very quickly, you can see it here. From the image view, you got the image into bitmap, then you converted this bitmap into the byte array, and you compress in this line, you compress that into a particular format you need, like JPG or PNG or anything. Then you converted that into array data, and that data you uploaded to the Firebase, and this much code is already provided by Firebase. So you just need to do this much, 4 or 5 lines of code. So this is another feature is Firebase Crashlytics. What sometimes your app crashes, like you have seen, unfortunately your app has stopped. So these things you can get the crash reports from here, and you as a developer you can read it and get it, like what were the things that made your app crash. Sometimes your server crashes, like there is so much load on your app that that it crashes. So you can get those reports from here. Cloud messaging. Okay, so this is something you have seen whenever you uses this Flipkart and Amazon things, and you daily get a lot of notifications regarding it, like this sale is there, this sale is there. Okay, so how it is done, like how will you do it if you are making an app? So Firebase will provide you this functionality, like from that Firebase console you can write a message and you can send it to each and every user with of your app. Okay, so this thing you can do from here. In-app messaging is the subpart of cloud messaging. Cloud messaging can be used inside or outside the app. Like inside the app, you can send notification, and outside the app, you can send the notification. When your app is closed, then also you can send the notification using cloud messaging. But in Firebase in messaging thing, it is something like this. Like you have seen some of the pop-ups whenever you are using the app, so you can get it from here. Okay, so this was the brief about Firebase. Any doubts till now, or everything is clear? Guys, speak up. At least speak up, so I can know. Or if you have any doubts, I can clear those right now. So it will be very useful when you will be making uh, the app, and you can do it directly. Okay, so some are saying no doubts. So are we good to start with the app? Should I start the app, building the app right now, and we can finish it quickly? Or you want some more brief about the Firebase, like more theory part you want? Okay, so I think we are good to start with the app part. But before that, I will tell you two or three things I need to mention. Otherwise, I will forget. So like this is our Android study gems we are learning. There were three sessions, and this is the last session. And we promise to give you certificate, and your app will be featured on our website, like on DSC's website, if it is unique. So what you need to do for getting the certificate and all those benefits? So someone was asking from the participants, like who was asking, can you know who was asking for the certificate?
Yeah, I was asking.
Okay. So Madhvi, I will tell you how you can get the certificates and what you need to do. So in this, there were in our Android study jam, there were two tracks. First was new to programming track, and second was prior to programming experience track. So in new to programming track, there were two units, but recently they have added one more unit. You might be confused, like how many batches you have to earn from this. So I would like to mention very clearly that you can complete only two units, unit 1 and unit 2 from this, and you can ignore the third unit. You can learn it. You learn the navigation part, you can learn it, but for the certificate thing, it is optional. Like third unit is optional for the certificate thing. You need to get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 6. These 6 batches from this unit, okay? And these 10 batches are compulsory. In second track, prior programming experience track, these there are 10 badges, and these all 10 are compulsory. And we will be circulating a form within few days, 2 or 3 days, in which you need to upload the screenshot of these, like have you completed. And one more thing, I have talked to someone who was saying that they have completed getted all the batches, but progress is not showing there. So there there might be something like your progress will be 60% or 40%. So like this, 40 40 40 40 70. So if you will directly attempt the quiz, it will be 17%. If you will see one or two videos, it will be 40%. So this doesn't matter. What is important here is, like, we will consider, if you are having the batches, we will consider you. This is simple thing. And what screenshot do you need to upload in that form is, I am telling you. Okay. So after completing both the tracks, you will see the batches here. So you need to provide us the screenshot of this thing, like all 10 batches you have to get, and we will provide you the certificate within few days after that. Okay. So is it clear? So I think we will be starting with the app right now. Okay. So just give me 1 minute. I will start with the app. So we will be creating an empty project, a new project, sorry. Okay. So what activity we will choose here is, we can, what we will make it. Let me tell you first what we are making, otherwise you will be confused. We will be making a simple app. You can think this is your mobile phone. There will be two fields and two buttons. What this is for email, or you can say phone number, and this is for full name. On clicking this button, we will name it send data. Okay. On clicking this button, we will send these two fields on our Firebase server. Okay. And on clicking this button, this is get data. We will get all the phone numbers and full names that are stored on our server. Okay. Is it clear? You can message in chat box. Is it clear? Okay. So let me first show you how will you access the Firebase. Where is it? So this is the Firebase console. You can open it. You can just type Firebase, and you can type console. Okay, and you can click on the second link. So you will see this thing. You can see this thing. Depending, these are some projects I have already created. So these are showing here, and if you want, if you will log in, you will see something like this, an empty console. This is known as Firebase console. Okay, and here are each and everything is there. So we will be using this. Let me close this. Now let's start with the app part. We are creating a new project. We will select an empty activity. We will name this as session 3. Cool. Now, as a language, we will be using Kotlin as per rules. Okay. And what is minimum SDK? I will just quickly revise everything. What is minimum SDK here? Minimum SDK means on above what versions your app will work. Like there are many versions, Android 10, 11, 9. If you will select Android 8, then your app will run on each and every Android which is above it. Android 8, Android 9, Android 10. But it will not run on Android 7. Okay. So it is highly recommended that use the lowest API level available, like API 16, Android Jelly Bean 4.1. So select the minimum one, and your device will run on 99.8% devices. Okay, you can click on finish. Okay, so just a minute, Gradle is building. Okay, so our project is built. You can see there are two activities. Sorry, one activity, a main activity. Is the font size correct, or should I increase it? I guess it will be visible. So we are having two files. Yes, someone was saying something. Okay. So here we are having two files, activity main.xml and main activity.xml. As usual, whenever you create a new project, you always get a activity. Now, what main activity.kt means, here you will write all the code, Kotlin code, and what activity main.xml is, here you will design your app. Okay. So as we have discussed, we will be making this. So we will design quickly this in the main activity.xml. Okay. So I will be using drag and drop. We were having plain text. Okay. So I can use a plain text here. Use some good practices, like first see what type of layout is there. It is constant layout. So do not forget to constant each and every thing. First name it, give it a ID. Let me give it edit text underscore name. Okay. Now you can constant it to the top. to the right. Okay, now we will be having, this will be name, and we will be having a phone number field also, na, so we can use it from here. We can give it, name it phone number. Sorry. Okay, so we should consent as to. What I have done here is I have added some constraint, like I have attached this to this, so it will be aligned to the right side of both fields will be aligned together. Okay, so here I need to give some hint. Hint I can get here is phone number. Sorry, here in this name field, I need to just a minute. I don't want to give some text here. I want to give it hint, so full name. Okay, so this is two text fields. Now we needed two buttons, so we can simply take two buttons, button number 1 and button number 2. We can constrain this. Okay. Are you having any doubts, like what these springs means and what are these things? We have cleared this in the first session, but if you want, I can just give a quick revision. I am naming it send data, and I am naming this get data. Okay, so just check the ID for this button is, you can see, we can do this thing. Okay, this button, the ID for this button is button, and for second button the ID is button 2. Okay, so remember these IDs, we will be using these things. So I think our this is done. We can jump onto the code part. So till now here, any doubts or any guesses, like what should we do now? Okay, so Madhvi is unmuting. Madhvi, I would like to ask one thing. Like what are we supposed to do now? Like we have created the design. Now what we will do? We will create the backend part, or first we will connect it to the Firebase?
I guess we will connect it to the Firebase.
Exactly. So we need to connect this to Firebase. So how will we do it? Remember, there are two ways to connect it. First one is very simple thing, like you just need to click on a single button, and second is little tricky one, like sometimes first way fails, so you need to use the second way. So I will be telling you the second way first. Okay, so let me close this. Where is our Firebase thing? Okay, so this is our console. Okay, what we need to do is you just log in, and then you open console.firebase.google.com, and you will see this thing. Now we need to create a project, so click on create project, give a name to your project. So I will name it test. Okay, it is generated an ID for your project, and you can click on continue. Now this is something, if you will disable this, you will not be able to use certain features like A/B testing, crash free users, and unlimited reporting, these things. But if you enable it, you can use these things. So keep it enabled. Your data is totally protected. Don't worry. You can use a server. Just if I am too fast, you can just turn on your mic and say that, okay, you can just repeat this thing. I will repeat it. No worries in that. Okay. The main thing is you must all know like what we are doing it. Okay, so just select an account. You will see a default account here. you can click on create project. Now it will take some time. You can have a coffee with it for that time. Okay, so you can see that your project is ready. So we can click on continue. Now this is something I am again and again saying console, console, console. So what actually console is? Like this is something known as console. Here you can control each and every activity of your app. Like what each and everything you are doing in your app, you can control from here. Authentication, or each and every feature I have mentioned, I have told you, you can get those features from here. Okay, performance, A/B testing. These were some features I forgot to mention. A/B testing is something which every website and every app is done. If you are launching something project, you need to do a A/B testing for that thing. Now important thing, how do this test project knows your session 3 app? Okay, you are getting what I am saying. You have created a project in Android Studio, and you have created a project in Google Chrome, Firebase. These are not still connected, so you need to connect them. As mentioned, you can connect it to iOS, Android, or website or Unity. We are using Android app, so we will be clicking on Android. Is it clear? Just write yes in the chat box. Okay. So we will be connecting this to Firebase. Just a minute. Let me close this. Okay. So we are clicking on Android. Now, these are some important steps to connect the Firebase database to your app. You can either note down these steps or you can find it on the documentation part of Firebase. So, first thing is they are asking is register the app, and they are asking the Android package name. And hint they have given com.company.app name. So, something will be there in your project, in Android project, that will look like this, and you need to put that here. So, you can open the Android Studio. You can see what the project package name is. So here it is clearly written that this is the package name. So you can copy this. You have copied this and put it here. So our first step is done. If you want to give a nickname to your app, you can give it here. I will name it session 3. And this is something SSA certificate, so it is totally optional. So you can skip it. Now you can click on register the app. So your app is registering. Like you might be making many apps and the package name of those will be same, so we need to register each and every app we will be using on the Firebase project, because we can create one project but we can attach multiple apps to it. As I mentioned, like Flipkart uses the website and the app both, and these two things are connected to a single database, so it will be here also. So every time you will be registering your app, you need to mention the package name. So the second step here is download the config file. Now what is this is like, what is Google JSON services? It is written here. What is this? So this is the most important file. Like your app and Firebase is still not connected. Now how will your app know that this particular database, in billions and billions of database there are on Firebase, this particular database that app needs to use? So all those configurations are in this Google JSON dot services dot JSON file. Now some instructions are written there, like where we need to download it, and then where we need to put it. So here it is written, switch to the project view in Android Studio to see your project root directory, and you can put it here. So okay, I got that. Check where it is. It is in download files, downloads. You can copy it. you can open the Android Studio. So it said switch to project, and then you can put it. I will do it simply. Click on this app and paste it. Okay, I have clicked on this app thing and I have just pasted it here. You can refactor it. So this is something your Google services file looks like. It contains a project number, project ID, storage bucket, everything it is written here, and API key is also there. So this is something you need to secure it whenever. So just always keep one thing in mind whenever you are pushing your project on GitHub. Okay, GitHub or any open source platform, always hide or delete this file. Like you can hide this file using gitignore. Do not put this file open source. Like otherwise, someone will use your app and you will need to pay for it. Okay, so we have added this thing. Let's click on next. Now here it is written Firebase SDK. Okay, so what Firebase SDK is, like you will be using Firebase. I have mentioned that you don't need to write any code, you don't need to write any code, so Firebase will provide you code, but from where it will provide the code, so that particular functions and methods must be pre-written somewhere. So those functions are written in these dependencies, so you need to add these dependencies in your app. First thing is, it is written open the project level build file. So project level build file you can open from here. This is project level build file. It is said that add Google. So Google is already added. You can see. Now it said add this dependencies Google services, because Firebase is a feature of Google, and to use any feature or any service of Google, you need to add this particular Google services file. So you need to add this here. Keep in mind that add this in project level file, not in build app level module. Okay, so click on sync now. Till now it is syncing. We can read the other steps. This is done. Now we can switch to Kotlin. In app level file, we need to add these things. So just copy the first line. It is synced. Open the app level. App level file, you can see here is it is written project and module. So module level is app level and project level is project level file. Now com.android application is already added. You can see second is Google services plugin. So copy and paste it in the root. Root means outside anything. Now you need to add two dependencies. First is Firebase and second is Firebase Analytics. So you can either prefer adding this, but the first one is most important one. Okay, so we have copied it, and where we add dependencies is here. Okay, paste it and add second one too. Till then, is it clear? Is it like any doubts till now? This is little tricky thing, but if you follow each and every step, you can do it easily. Like the documentation provided by Firebase is very easy. If you follow it, you can do anything. I will I am telling this way. I will tell you second way too. Okay, so I think we have completed each step. Here it is written click on sync now, so we can click on sync now. Okay, so I think our app is added. Now to see, you can click on tools. You will get here Firebase. Okay, so click on Firebase, and we can, okay. So I have told you we will be making an app in which there will be two fields, phone number and name, and we will be sending that to database. So for database, we will be using real-time database, because we are not using any this images or anything. Neither we are signing up. Like we are just taking two fields. We are not actually signing up. So we will not use authentication. We will use real-time database. So this should be clear. Okay. So just click on this. Here you can see it is written that connect to your app to Firebase. It is already connected. Why it is connected? Because we have done it manually. Okay, so this is all, this each thing is done. You can click on console. Okay, so this was the way to connect. Okay, now I will tell you the second way also. Click on new. We will be making a new project. Do you want to know the second way or should I skip it?
Yeah, you can skip it for now.
Okay, okay. I have already created the project. Let me do it. Okay, so second way, it will take just a minute, not more than a minute, I guess. I assure you. Okay, so project is done. This is a new project. You can click on tools and you can click on Firebase. Whatever you want to use, you can click this. We were using. We have done the same thing. It is not written here. What we have not added anything in this. This is a whole new project. You just need to click on this connect to Firebase button, and this will add all these steps. Like we have followed so many steps, we have copied many dependencies. This will, on clicking on that button, Firebase will automatically do it. It will redirect you to the console and you can select the project in which you want to add your database. So I will do it in this one. Just wait for a minute and it will be connected. Okay, so your Firebase Android app has been created in the Firebase, and on clicking connect, it is connected. Okay, so here you can see it is already connected. So this was the second way. Is it clear? Madhvi, it is clear. You were
Yes,
saying
yes, it
to
is
skip.
clear.
Okay, so I have closed that app. We will be using this session 3.1. Okay, so we have connected to the Firebase. Now we need to use real-time database feature of the Firebase. So we need to add it to, like, whatever functions and classes we will be using. We need to add those dependencies. So click on add the real-time database to your app, and this will do. This will add this dependency. So click on accept changes. Gradle is syncing. So this is also added. Now we are good to go. We have connected the app to the Firebase. We have added real-time database to our app. We have created the XML part. Now we are good to start. Like, we will just get these values into a variable in the code and put those into send that particular things to the database. Okay, so we can do it jaldi jaldi. Okay. So we are having two text fields. So we need to create two text. We can use it. Say where. First one is name, and we will initialize later. And the name is of type edit text. Correct. Edit text. So this is the first. Sorry. And second is phone. PHN. So these are created. Now we are having two buttons also. So we will create two buttons. Button 1, and this is of type button. This is what I'm doing, is it is known as declaration. Okay, when if any interviewer asks you what is this is, you can say it is, we are declaring the variables, or we are declaring the data members. This is also of type button. So we have created this thing. We can just minimize this. We have created 4 variables here. Now we need to bind these XML widgets views to our app, to our Kotlin code. So we will do this in on create function. Okay, so name equals to, can anyone tell me how to do that? Any Android developer here? Let me do it. r.id. What was the ID of name field? I guess it was name, et name. Okay, and second there is phone number. Phn equals to find by id r dot. and it was PHN. Okay. So this thing is done. Now we need to bind these two buttons also. So we will do it quickly. We always use this thing r.id.et. So what is R here? R is a global class which is made by Android Studio itself, and it stores ID of each and every view you are using. Like if you are using 100 text views and 100 buttons, so those 100 text views and 100 buttons will be having a unique ID, and those all unique IDs are stored in this R class. R is a class here. Okay, you can see that it is a capital letter, so everything which starts with capital is a class. Okay, so this is a class which is created by Android Studio. This is for button 1 and button 2. Okay, we are good to go. Button 2. Okay, so we have just done this part. Now whenever we are starting, we can just run it at least once, otherwise there will be error. Okay, so now is it running? Okay, Gradle is building. Wait for a minute. Okay, so you can see this is our basic things. Now on clicking send data, nothing is happening, and on clicking get data, nothing is happening. So we need to first we will add the functionality that on clicking on send data, whatever we will type here, like we are typing this thing, and I'm typing something here. So we will send this particular data onto our Firebase. So this was our Firebase console. We added the real-time database here. Okay, so click on real-time database here first. Now no database is created here, so you can create a database. Next and enable. You need to add create databases or Firestore or authentication things manually. If you are using storage thing, you will need to create a particular storage from your side. Now remember one most important thing, like if whenever we use Firebase, it provides you a very good level of security, so no one can easily like use your this database. So it provides certain rules. So click on rules here. Now here you will see two things. One, rules read and write false, both are false. So what this means is, if you can connect to the database, but you can't read the data from the database and you can't write the data from the database. So you need to turn these two things true, otherwise you will not be able to use this particular database. Okay, and now you can click on publish. Now you can click on data. You can see we are not having any data here. Now when we will be sending that data, you will see it here. Okay, how will we do it? We need, whenever we click on that particular button is btn1. So we need to add a click listener on btn1. Set on click listener. Okay, it will take object view dot on click listener. Okay, something is missing. Give me a minute. Okay, it is done. Okay. So we will override. Okay, override fun. This is the, so okay. So this is done. Now whenever we will Whenever we will click the button, this particular code will run. Okay. Now we need to send this data. So let's open assistant here. Here it is written, write to the database. So what you need to do, you can copy it from here. I will tell you how to do it. Now we need to first get the reference to this particular path. Like we are in Firebase, then we are in our project named test, and then we are inside this particular database. So we need to get the reference. So from here, this particular line number 29, we can get the reference to the database, and from that particular database we need to get the reference to this particular space where we will be storing our data. So that you will get through database.get reference message. Okay, you can write here session 3. We will name it session 3, and you will give it a child. Child name users. Now for just testing purpose, we can use my reference dot. So this is these 3 lines of code. What this will do, I have already explained these 2 lines, first 2 lines, and third line will do that on this particular reference which is inside session and users, it will write this value hello there. This might be confusing, but let me just run the app and you will this will be clear, like what actually is happening. Okay, so app is reinstalled, and if I will type it some number here, and typing my name. Now I am clicking on send data. So I have clicked 2-3 times. Okay. Now you can open your console. So you can see here something is here. Session 3 and then users and then hello. So I guess it is clear like what this particular session 3 means and what this particular users means. Session 3 means inside this space you have created a tree, like Firebase store your data in a tree format. So there is a session 3, its child is users, and you have stored a this thing something here. Okay, so now what our aim is, we need to get the values from these 2 values and we need to send it to database. So we will do it quickly. Okay, so inside the button we will get the value inside this name variable text. Well, n equals to name. Yukti, can you confirm that my screen is properly visible? Because I guess there might be some network issues.
No, it's visible properly.
Okay.
No worries.
And till time I am coding this thing, you can tell them about the date. Like we are extending the date, so you can tell them about this thing.
Yeah, so everyone, you can finish all the earning the badges till 28 February. We are extending the date till 28 February. This will be the last session, but you can continue till 28 Feb, all the badges. And then you can send us all the details, then we will provide you with the certificate.
Okay, so we have fetched the whatever the text sheet is written inside the name text field. We have stored it in N, and we have stored the phone number in M. Okay, now we need to combine this thing. We will be using hash map. We will be storing these 2 things in a single object that will be named as user, and it will be of type hash map, and it will be of type hash map will be string to string. String to, I can name it any. Okay. And there is error. This is because of this. And user is a object of hash map type, so we need to call the constructor. Okay, so it is done. Now we need to put these two values in this user. So what we can do is we can just write type user. We can name the key as the phone number, that is M, and we will provide it. So what this line will do is, okay. So what this line will do is, it user will look like this. Your particular phone number, comma, your name. Okay, user will look like this. Now we need to send these two things to the database. So what we have done previously is my reference dot set value, but we are not setting the value now. We will be updating the children, like what how will it will look like inside session 3, inside users there will be two inside users there will be multiple fields, like uh, phone number equals to this, phone number equals to this thing. So it will be clear when I will type this, my reference, and it will be done using update children function. We'll be adding these two things as a children. Okay, and one more important thing, we will show a toast message once it is done. What this line will do is, what toast is actually, whenever we will click on the button, a little pop-up will appear, and it will be there will be written that data added successfully, so we will know that our work is done successfully. Otherwise there might be some errors. Okay, so this, I think, coding part is done. We can run the app. Session is progressing little long, so I request you to hold up. We will finish it in 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, just click on terminate. So I will type the phone number here, and I will type some name here. Okay, and I will click on send data button. Look closely, like there will be something on the bottom part of the screen. Okay, so here it is data added successfully. So we can check on our console. So look, the phone number is here and the name is here. Okay, and suppose we are adding some more thing, this 77. Okay, and when we click on send data, it is updated. Look, if we are updating now, we are updating the same thing again, so it will not change, nothing will change because it is already present here. If we now if we click, you can see it is, whenever just we are clicking on send data button, it is updating here. So this is how we can send the data to the Firebase. Like I would like to know from someone is that is it clear?
Yes, yes, it is clear.
Okay, so next part is about how we can fetch this data and use it into our app. Like if you are making a login thing, then you need to send the data here. Then while logging, you need to use this. So how we can fetch the data from here? We can add that also. Okay, so We will add that code here. You can see here it is written how to read the data. So you can copy this part. Some error is there because this is Java code. Okay, now it will work. So this is error. You can just press Control plus Enter, and you need to give a value to tag. Wait. What? Okay. So it is okay. Now I will explain you this code. Uh, okay. So how you can read the data from the database? First, you need to get the reference as usual. Like you need to get this, write these two particular things. Now you have got the reference till users. Like you have reached till here. Okay. Now you have to go inside this, inside the user thing. So how will you do that? It is written here. My reference dot add value event listener. So what event listener is, it will run whenever your data will change. I have told you, like whenever you send a message from WhatsApp to someone, the other data is the other person's WhatsApp is automatically updated. So this on data change function will run as many times there will be the change in the database. Okay, so let me just clear this thing. And on cancelled, this will run if there will be some error. Okay, so we need to just finish this thing and we are good to go for. What we can do here is, okay, so we are getting data snapshot as a okay, so when we are calling on data change function, we are getting data snapshot. What data snapshot contains? Data snapshot contains all each and everything inside this. Like these all three fields are contained in data snapshot. So you just need to get those things from the data snapshot. So you can first write if data snapshot dot exists. Why I have written this is, suppose suppose your data is empty, there is nothing here, so it will give error. So you can just write this, like if your data exists, then you will do something. Okay, if there is data, we will show this thing. Now we can run the app. So debug. So you can see, we can see here a star, like our data is existed. So now we just need to fetch the values from those data. We can do it like this. For this is a simple for loop. Okay, so data snapshot will give error because it contains multiple children, so we need to add here this thing. Okay, now in each snapshot, this particular row will be there. A single row will be contained in a snapshot, so we can just print that row. that row, and that will we do using log snapshot dot key. Okay, and plus some space plus snapshot. But we need to print the value also, no? We can do it this. Okay. Now what will be there? We have not used a button till now, but we can just click on run and check it whether it is working or not. Okay, so all the data is here. You might be wondering that I have not clicked on get data button, but it is still working because I have written all this code inside the on create function. So I have not included the button. I will do it right now. We have made button 2. Okay, and I can copy this particular code. And this is done. Okay, now all this code we can write inside our button. So let's run the code. Now you can see that there is nothing, and if I am adding something like 9999 and my name here and clicking on send data added successfully. So you can see one more field is here. Now we want to click on get data button, and we should see some stars and then all the data list by list. Okay, so we are clicking on get data button, and you can see that every data is here. Okay, so 4 fields are here. Now I have if you remember, we have used this real-time database, so I will prove it right now. And this thing I have told you, that on data change button, this function will be called each and every time when the database will be triggered. So if I add something here, like I'm adding some number here, now on clicking send data button, the database will be changed, and according to what I have said, this on data function should run, and this all things should be uh, printed again and again. Okay, and there will be 5 fields. So I am clicking on send data button, and now you can see there are 5 fields and some stars. Okay, and so this is something what real time means. I think we have completed our app. Now, any questions from your side? It was session a long session indeed.
Yes, I have
So
some
any
question.
yeah.
Yeah, and so in the on-click button for the get data, you have set some tag over there. Can you tell me
Okay,
what is
this
it?
tag. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So what this tag means, if we use this log thing now, like I am using this log dot d here means debug. Now we need to add 2 strings here. First string and a second string here. So suppose that second string I am using this, and here you need to write something like I am writing your name here. Okay, so when you use see open logcat, you need to write this particular tag here. I have used a tag variable here, and I have created a variable as a data member, and I have given it the name hello. So I have used hello here. If I will use your name here, it will print all the logs which whose key and key are this your name. Okay, I hope it's clear.
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah. Okay. Some any more questions? No questions, I guess. So I think we are good to wrap then. At least write something in chat box so we can come to know.
Guys, you can also write whether you got all everything from the session and how was the session.
Okay, so do you need this code of this app? I can push it on GitHub and provide the code. Okay, okay. So Yukti, we can wrap the meeting right now. And thank you everyone for attending all the three sessions. I can see 2 or 3 people here who attended each and every session. So thank you to everyone. And I hope you all will complete the tracks and you will get certificates. Okay. Thank you. Okay, Yukti, you can stop the recording.